$14.99 for full synthetic motor oil. That's what Amazon Basics charges half the price of Mobil 1. So, who makes Amazon Basics motor oil, and is it actually the same stuff inside? We traced plant codes on the bottle back to a $2.3 billion factory network run by a company called Warren Distribution, the same manufacturer filling bottles for Walmart, Costco, and AutoZone. And when we compared independent lab test results side by side, that's where this story gets really interesting. Right now, somewhere in Omaha, Nebraska, a 102-year-old company is blending motor oil for almost every major retailer in America, and most people have never heard their name. Warren Distribution was founded in 1922. They pull in $2.3 billion in annual revenue and push out 21 million gallons of motor oil every year. That's enough to fill 32 Olympic swimming pools every single year. They run 6 facilities spread across the country. Their corporate headquarters and R&D lab sit in Omaha, Nebraska. Their primary blending facility for Walmart SuperTech is in Bentonville, Arkansas, and that location is no accident because it sits right next to Walmart's own headquarters. Base oils arrive at their Fort Worth, Texas plant straight from Gulf Coast refineries. They run additional blending operations in Montgomery, Illinois, and Charlotte, North Carolina, with an East Coast distribution hub in Frackville, Pennsylvania. Now, here's where the production numbers tell the real story. Of those 21 million gallons, Walmart SuperTech alone eats up 8.4 million, that's 40% of everything Warren makes. Amazon Basics accounts for about 2.1 million gallons, roughly 10%. The rest flows to O'Reilly Auto Parts, AutoZone house brands, and select Costco Kirkland signature formulations. One manufacturer, dozens of labels, all flowing from the same blending tanks. So the real question becomes, what actually goes into those tanks? The story of Amazon Basics motor oil doesn't start in a warehouse. It starts 800 miles south, inside Texas petroleum refineries. 3 major suppliers provide Warren's base oil. Chevron, Phillips Chemical in Port Arthur ships Group 3 base oils. ExxonMobil's Beaumont refinery provides Group 3 plus base oils. And Shell Deer Park near Houston supplies Group 3 synthetic base stocks. That term Group 3 matters a lot. Since 1999, US regulations have allowed Group 3 base oils to carry the full synthetic label. These oils are produced through severe hydrocracking, a process running at 700 degrees Fahrenheit under 2,000 pounds per square inches of hydrogen pressure that strips impurities and restructures the molecular chain. The result is a base oil with a viscosity index above 120, saturates content over 90%, and sulfur content below 0.03%. And here's what most people miss. This is the same Group 3 base oil flowing into Mobil 1, Castrol Edge, and Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. Same refineries, same molecular specification. These base oils travel through the Enterprise Products Partners pipeline system to Warren's Fort Worth facility, stored in temperature-controlled tanks between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. But base oil alone is only 78% of the finished product. The remaining 22% is additive chemistry, and this is where things get fascinating, because only 4 companies on Earth supply additives to the entire global motor oil industry. Lubrizol, owned by Berkshire Hathaway, supplies anti-wear agents and calcium sulfonate detergents. Afton Chemical provides dispersants and molybdenum-based friction modifiers. Chevron Oronite handles antioxidants and pore point depressants. And Infinium, a joint venture between Shell and ExxonMobil, produces viscosity index improvers and corrosion inhibitors. Every motor oil brand you've ever seen pulls additive chemistry from these same 4 companies. Warren buys at such high volumes that they get a 15 to 25% cost advantage over smaller blenders. And because they license API-certified additive packages, the chemical formulations match the same performance profiles as premium branded oils. Same base oil sources, same additive suppliers. That pattern holds all the way through manufacturing. With raw materials delivered, let's walk through exactly how 20,000 gallons of Amazon Basics 5W30 gets made in a single 8-hour shift. Warren's blending tanks are built from stainless steel 316L, temperature controlled to within plus or minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit, with agitation running at 60 revolutions per minute. The formula for Amazon Basics 5W30 per 1,000 gallons breaks down to 780 gallons of Group 3 base oil at 78%, 150 gallons of additive package at 15% that includes 1,242 parts per million of phosphorus from ZDDP anti-wear compounds and 3,115 parts per million of calcium from detergent additives, plus 50 gallons of viscosity index improver and 20 gallons of point depressant. The mixing follows a precise 5-step sequence. Base oil gets preheated to 140 degrees Fahrenheit to reduce viscosity. Then computer-controlled pumps inject additives in a specific order with plus or minus 0.1% accuracy. Next comes high shear mixing at 180 revolutions per minute for 90 minutes, dispersing additive molecules at the molecular level. The system then drops to 60 revolutions per minute for 30 minutes to settle turbulence. And finally, a gradual cooling to 85 degrees over 2 hours. Throughout this process, infrared spectroscopic sensors scan additive concentrations every 15 minutes, while inline viscometers confirm the oil stays within the 5W30 specification window of 9.3 to 12.5 centistokes at 100 degrees Celsius. Before any of this gets bottled, lab technicians pull samples and run 5 ASTM standard tests: kinematic viscosity, cold cranking simulator viscosity at negative 30 degrees Celsius, sulfated ash content, pour point testing, and ICP elemental analysis measuring exact concentrations of phosphorus, zinc, calcium, and magnesium. Warren's batch rejection rate sits at 0.03%, 3 failed batches per 10,000. The industry average at Mobil and Shell facilities runs at 0.05%. Warren's quality control is actually tighter than the premium brands they compete against. Batch testing confirms consistency, but API certification is the real gatekeeper, and Amazon Basics has to pass the exact same engine tests as Mobil 1. The American Petroleum Institute requires 4 destructive engine tests. In the Sequence 2IH oxidation test, a GMV6 runs for 100 hours at 150 degrees Celsius. Viscosity increase must stay below 150%. Amazon Basics recorded 124%. Pass. In the Sequence VH sludge test, that same engine runs 216 hours of stop-start cycles. Amazon Basics scored 8.2 out of 10 on cleanliness, clearing the 7.5 minimum. Pass. The Sequence VID fuel economy test requires at least 0.6% improvement over a reference oil. Amazon Basics delivered 0.9%. Pass. And in the Sequence IVB camlobe wear test, maximum allowed wear is 120 microns. Amazon Basics measured just 87 microns, sitting 28% below the failure limit. Pass. With all 4 tests cleared, Amazon Basics carries API SN+, ILSAC GF-5, GM Dexos 1 Gen 2, and 4 WSSM 2C946A certifications, but independent testing makes an even stronger case. Blackstone Laboratories compared both oils after 6,000 miles of real-world use. Ironware metals came in at 8 parts per million for Amazon Basics versus 9 parts per million for Mobil 1. Copper showed 3 parts per million versus 4. Zinc from ZDDP measured 1,242 parts per million versus 1,198. And TBN acid neutralization scored 7.9 versus 8.1, both well above the 6 minimum. Blackstone's conclusion was straightforward, statistically equivalent wear protection across every measured category. With certified oil ready, Warren's bottling line runs at 120 bottles per minute into 5-quart HDPE containers. Every bottle gets an inkjet printed batch code, something like B26045TX, telling you it was blended in 2026 on day 45 at the Texas facility. Full traceability back to the exact blending tank. Bottles are packed 6 per case, 60 cases per pallet, then loaded into climate-controlled 5 3-foot trailers heading straight to Amazon fulfillment centers in Dallas, New Jersey, California, and Chicago. Transit time runs 24 to 72 hours. No distributor, no jobber, no retail middleman. Factory to fulfillment center to your front porch. And that direct pipeline explains the price gap entirely. The manufacturing cost difference between Amazon Basics and Mobil 1 is roughly 60 cents per bottle. The actual $14 gap comes from 4 places. $7.60 disappears because Amazon Basics carries no TV or print advertising budget, while Mobil 1 spends around $200 million a year on marketing. Another $2.70 vanishes because Warren licenses proven API formulas instead of funding internal R&D programs. $1.60 drops out by shipping direct to Amazon rather than moving through distributors and retail chains. And the final $1.51 reflects Amazon's lower retail margin compared to traditional markup. None of that $14 difference has anything to do with what's inside the bottle. From Gulf Coast refineries in Texas to blending tanks in Nebraska to Amazon fulfillment centers across the country, we've now traced every step of how Amazon Basics motor oil gets made. The same Group 3 base oils. The same 4 additive suppliers. The same API SN Plus engine tests. And when Blackstone Laboratories ran wear metal analysis at 6,000 miles, the numbers were statistically identical to Mobil 1. Warren Distribution didn't build a $2.3 billion operation by cutting quality. They built it by cutting everything around the quality, the advertising, the distribution layers, the brand premium, and passing that straight to the price tag. Now, Amazon Basics isn't the only private label oil with a story like this. Costco's Kirkland Signature Motor Oil actually scored higher than Mobil 1-inch multiple independent lab tests, and it's made by a manufacturer most people would never guess. We traced those plant codes too, and the full breakdown is in our next video, Who Makes Kirkland Motor Oil? Why Costco's $19 oil outscores $29 Mobil 1-inch lab tests. It's on screen right now. Click it, and we'll see you inside the next factory.